Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. You don't see a damn thing, cause you can't relate to me. You're blinded by our differences, my life makes no sense to you. I'm the persecuted one, you the red, white and blue.
Good evening and welcome to the Muslim Street. This is Layla Abdelaziz. It is December the 18th, 2011. I'm here with my co-host Malik Aziz. And again, you're listening to the Muslim Street. Just to give you guys all a reminder, you can call in locally today where we have a really great program ready for you guys, giving you an update on our subject from last week, the Lowe's petition and the TLC Lowe's conflict going on there. We also have a really great guest joining us here today in the studio to talk about the National Defense Authorization Act. Again, if you want to jot down the numbers locally, you can call in at 727-441-3000. Toll free, the number is 1-866-826-1340. Malik, how are you doing?
Assalamualaikum. Layla, the international superstar is with us.
Yes. We have a great guest today. Before we talk about the National Defense Authorization Act, I think it's really important to touch up on some updates on some previous shows that we've had. For example, all the things going on in Egypt and in general, the Arab world still, we have a lot of conflict going on with Egypt. The military has refused to step down. There's a lot of conflict. Saturday triggered new protests in Tahrir Square. We're seeing, we saw this past week, the first charge was put against one of the bloggers from the original revolution, from when Mubarak was still in power. The military charged a internet blogger. He was sentenced to serve some time in jail for some things that he had just blogged about. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I think what we were seeing is the people in their different phases of the revolution era going through the pains of struggle. If you look at all, I think oftentimes we're guilty of looking at established empires who've been around for a couple hundred years and kind of comparing emerging democracies or emerging infrastructures of countries with what we live in or what we might see. It's going to take time. It's going to take time for them to kind of work things out. And as long as the people stay focused on the street, and their goals and objectives are intact from the stated goals of the revolution, I think that they will be all right. But through it, it's going to be some pain.
Definitely, and I mean, I've said it previously on our shows. The democratic process takes some time, and especially in a lot of these Arab world countries, it's something that's very new. A lot of people are emerging from systems of dictators and benign rulers that really didn't allow for the development of the mind process and the institutional infrastructure to upkeep the democracy. But, we'll see where this goes with Egypt. There's still rounds of elections to go, and we'll definitely keep you all updated. But this past week was hot in terms of the Lowe's petition with TLC, and I know that you've been definitely on top of that.
Yeah, the Lowe's petition, of course, stemming from Lowe's pulling their ads on the Muslim American, the All American Muslim show, the reality show that was featuring 5 Muslim families in the Dearborn, Michigan area. And I will tell you that I've talked to or have been approached by just the ordinary Muslims on the street, and they are totally upset about this. They have pulled their shopping from Lowe's, and they will continue to do that. And I think that the Lowe's and their responses to this issue have been very harsh. They've been very distant. And this is going to last a long time in terms of even if they issue an apology, will the Muslim community go back? And not only that, the larger community, because when hate is attached to your brand, it will take millions of dollars in order to rebuild that brand. And we've seen this over and over again in different genres.
Definitely. A lot happened since last Sunday. There's also now a website that is up in terms of surfacing everything going on with the Lowe's petition. It is Lowe's, Lowes, boycott.com. You can go to lowesboycott.com. You can, there's a great grassroots movement emerging from all of this, from the energy, from the voices of the Muslim American community and just, conscious Americans in general.
Yeah.
If you go to lowesboycott.com, you can see local boycotts and protests that are going on in your area. You can join protests. There's been a lot of protests since last Sunday in just local communities that have emerged, and you can use this website to see what's going on in your community. You can also go to lowesboycott.com to access the petition. The petition is still going strong. Last time when we talked, I don't remember what the numbers were at.
It was over 40,000.
Well, now it's over 40,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge,
Yeah,
for the past week.
Yeah.
It's definitely been growing. Again, you can go to signon.org to sign that petition. If you go to signon.org, it should be on the main page as one of the main protests, as one of the main petitions. And if you cannot find it in that way, just Google repudiate calls to stop advertising. If you type that in on sign.org, you should be able to access the petition.
And one of the things about this struggle against what is clear hatred coming from the general body of the American society. I mean, what kind of business says I don't want a segment of the society to come in and buy goods and services from me? I mean, what kind of business sense is that? The second piece of that is the Muslims community responds to this issue, creating a protracted struggle out of this. That yes, it's Lowe's today, but the bigger picture from a 30,000-foot level is this issue of Islamophobia. And how do we organize around that? How and Muslims all around the country, all the way from California to New York, from Chicago down to Texas, are organizing feverishly to deal with this issue of Islamophobia.
Unfortunately, what's happening right now, the whole purpose of this petition and the energy that's developed is because of, Islamophobic bigots.
Yes.
But honestly, I have to give a shout out to all the love that has emerged from something
absolutely.
like this. There's just been outstanding support from conscious American families around the state. There's been around the country, let me say. There's been a lot of really famous celebrities. Russell Simmons, we talked about that last week. Cal Penn came out against this, and he even put together a really funny skit really quickly about the CEO of Lowe's and his response to this. Paris Hilton, you have Rima Fakhi, who was the 2010 Miss USA, but she is also from Dearborn, Michigan. She is an Arab American woman here in America. She came out against this. Meghan McCain gave a shout out to the petition, so I thought that was awesome. We have senators, we have representatives, we have mayors, we have local legislative bodies just signing resolutions in support of the petition. So I think that's really great. The energy has been awesome, and I'm definitely...
Yeah, this is the turning tide against hate toward the Muslims, and, we really need to get a shout-out to Lowe's for, stimulating the energy inside of the Muslim community to raise the level of awareness around the larger issue, and the larger issue is Islamophobia.
Definitely. And, it's bound to happen. I think as the Muslim American community is developing and kind of using that synergy of our community to create their voice, little things like this will definitely trigger big responses that will counter Islamophobia in the comments. So again, you're listening to The Muslim Street. We have a really, really great program for you guys. Sign the petition on signon.org, and stay tuned after the commercials. We have with us Hassan Shibli, who is Executive Director of CARE. We'll be introducing him to the show. Thanks for listening.